What's up, Charb? How you guys doing? This is gonna be Ambitions Season 1, Episode 13. So, let me turn my volume off. How about that? So, we start this episode off with Joaquin is still kidnapped. The kidnappers call Bella, and basically, that she thought that her son had been killed because they had found the body of a little boy. So the mayor Evan came through and was like, "That's not our son. We're gonna get him back." And then the kidnappers end up calling, who we know is just really old girl's little sidekick, little boo thing or whatever. And Evan is like, "Look, I need proof of life. Before I give you anything, I need to know that my son is still alive. Like, I need proof of life." So, she was he was kind of like hesitating or whatever. But the chick, Bella's friend, the one that really kidnapped Joaquin, she tells him, she was like, "Give him some proof of life. Like, what's the big deal?" She said he just needs a little, because he's not wanting to pay. He's like, "Look, me and my people can find him. Like, we're not gonna pay that money." And she was like, "Well, he just needs a little kick in the butt. Bella will convince him to pay the money. He just needs, a little bit more of a push or whatever." And the kidnapper is getting, the dude is getting anxious. He's like, "Look, I'm sick of this." Oops, sorry. He's like, "I'm sick of this." He was like, "We can, I can just kill the little boy. We can keep it moving. Like, I'm tired of this." And she's like, "No, I'm telling you, we're going to get our money. You just got to be a little more patient." And so, I'm going to go ahead and just go through some of this. So, later on in the episode, Bella is talking to Evan, and Bella is like, "Can you just pay the money? Like, what is the problem? What is the holdup after they get the proof of life?" And he was like, "Look, I know that my people, like, you might not trust my people, but I trust my people, and we're going to find our son, and we don't have to pay." And she was like, "Why are you playing games with our son's life? Like, you got the money, right?" He was like, "Yeah, I got to move some stuff around, but yeah, I can get the money. But why do that if I don't have to?" So when they get the proof of life video, he's able to put together some clues that things he heard in the background. He's able to put those clues together, and they figure out, or they think they figure out, where the kidnappers are. So before he ends up paying the money, they're calling her. They're calling over to Bella, and of course they telling Bella, "Look, you playing games." Because what happened was Stephanie had come through talking about, "Let me look through this contract that you have. I got time today." And of course Bella is like, "Of all times that you want to come and help me." And I still think it was more to this little visit, but hold on, we're going to get there in a second. I think Stephanie's intention in going over there was a little bit more than, I think she found something, but I don't think that's what she went over there intentionally looking for. But neither here nor there. So Bella ends up pushing her out because the kidnappers called her. She's like, "Stephanie, look, I appreciate it, thank you." And Stephanie was like, "Are you serious right now? Like, I came over here to help you, and you treat me like some old common, somebody off the street or whatever." And she just wasn't here for Stephanie's shenanigans that day. And, because, she's dealing with the kidnappers. So, but while Stephanie was there, Evan's cufflinks were up on the counter. And we saw her with those. We saw the cufflinks, but you're not sure whether she saw the cufflinks or not. And of course, they're engraved. They have Evan's name, Evan's initials and stuff on it. So Stephanie, she ends up getting Stephanie out of there, and she calls Evan and is like, "Look, they are threatening. They say they're gonna kill Joaquin. Where's the money? Like, have you paid the money yet?" Well, they end up storming the hotel room, finding the right room, and they kill the kidnapper. And they end up getting Joaquin. So Joaquin is fine. He's back home. But in the meantime, and in between time, Stephanie saw them damn cufflinks, and she swiped them. And later on in the episode, we'll get there at the very, very end. I gotta go in a certain order, y'all, because we're gonna knock this stuff out. Y'all know Ambitions can get a little long because there's a lot of stuff going on. Now, Amara and Titus goes to empty the trash, and what does he find in the trash can? An early pregnancy test. So Titus automatically jumps to the conclusion that it's Amara's, and she comes downstairs, "Good morning," whatever, and he's like, "Is it mine?" She said, "It's what yours? What you talking about?" He said, "Is the baby mine?" She said, What baby? What are you talking about?" He said, "Amara, I need you to be honest with me. I found this pregnancy test, and I need to know if the baby's mine or if it's Damien's." Amara was like, "First of all, I'm going to need you to reel that back. You know good and damn well I ain't been sleeping with Damien. Second of all, it's not my test. So while they're doing that, the daughter comes downstairs and the daughter's like, look, I can explain. It's mine. I was late on my period. And I think it's mine. You know, it might be mine. She said the test kind of came back inconclusive, so I really don't know what's good. Of course, Titus responds like a father, want to go up to the school and beat the boy up. Like it's, you know, like he was the only one having sex. You know what I'm saying? His daughter was there too. And his daughter was like, Dad, like for real. And Amara was like, Titus, chill out. Like, you ain't about to go fight nobody. Like, chill out. Like, at the end of the day, you know, they were like, look, we've always been open with you. Why didn't you feel like you could come to us? Because we had you on the pill. And she said, well, I just didn't like the way it made me feel. He was like, okay, so you didn't like the way it made you feel. And I guess, you know, old boy didn't like the way condoms made him feel, right? That's what we dealing with. So, they agree that they're going to take the daughter to the OBGYN, let her take a pregnancy test. And, you know, we'll deal with it when we deal with it. If you're pregnant, we'll just have to handle what we need to handle. But for right now, we're just going to take you to go get tested, and we'll figure it all out on the back end. So then, we're over to the law office now. They still got this class action lawsuit going on. And y'all know what lawyers do when it's time for discovery. They bury the opponent in paper. And so that's what Titus did. Titus sent all this damn paper over to Stephanie for them to go through. And, you know, basically it's like looking for a needle in a haystack. Well, guess what? They found some needle in that haystack. Come to find out, they were able to find an email from like 1998 where the head of Purifoy, old boy, what's his name? Y'all know who I'm talking about. He sent the email basically encouraging his team to target low-income neighborhoods and target, you know, susceptible minorities to get them hooked on his drug. So, of course, you know, Stephanie is like the cat that ate the cat that ate the canary. And she calls up and Titus and lets Titus know, look, I done sent you a copy of that email. So at this time, you might as well just go on and settle with us now because we have you by, you know, we got you by the balls, basically. Like, it ain't really nothing you could do about this. And he goes and confronts his boss. William. What's his name? William? But anyway, he goes to confront his boss. And his boss was like, look, that was 20 years ago. He said, because at first he tried to act like he didn't know what it was talking about. But then when he read the email, then he threw it at Titus talking about, so you sent this over there. Titus was like, that's the law. Don't deflect. I had to send them the information. That's discovery. Second of all, don't deflect. You wrote this email. Like, what's good? Like, you really were trying to get people hooked on your product. He said, look, that was 20 years ago. He said, can you be held accountable for stuff you did 20 years ago? He said, you know, I probably said it, but I'm not that person now. Like, I wouldn't say that now. That's not how I would do things now. And of course, Titus giving him the side eye. Titus is like, so like, basically, why should I even still work for you? He said, because I pay you $500,000. He said, well, your best bet is to probably go ahead and settle. He said, we will not. He said, I'm not getting the Carlyles another red penny. So you're going to have to come up with a defense and you're going to have to figure it out because we're not giving them no money. Now, Stephanie, on the other hand, she just know she got it going on. Because, you know, at first they offered $500 million. $500 million. Now she's saying her clients want $750 million. And they have 24 hours to settle or they're going to go up from there. And Titus is like, we're not settling. That's what we're not going to do. Now, while this is going on, now Stephanie being the bitch that she is, she poking at Titus. And she was just like, tell Amara I said hello. And Titus was like, look, keep your wife's name out. Keep my wife's name out your mouth. So while she bantering with him, talking about something, well, I hope one day you can move out of that hotel. I really wish you guys can get things together and move back into that house. You know, she talked about the house being a little small shack or whatever. Well, while he's saying this, the daughter walks in. And the daughter overhears, because remember, they didn't tell the daughter that they were separated. The daughter overhears that daddy and mommy are separated. And she's like, okay, well, I came over here to let you know that I'm not pregnant. But now I done found out something else. And she automatically assumes that it's her father's fault that they're separated. She goes to talk to Amara about it. Like, why did you lie to me? You know, you and dad aren't even together. You know, did he cheat on you with that woman I saw him with? And Amara told her the truth. She said, look, it wasn't your father. It was me. You know, I cheated on your dad. Blame me. And, of course, she does. And she goes off to head back to school, and she's, she giving her dad a big old hug and kiss, and she ain't even speaking to Amara. And Titus was like, why did you tell her? Like, you could have let me be the heavy. And she said no. She said, I made the mistake, and I promised you that from here on out I was going to be honest. And if I'm going to be honest with you, I have to be honest with our daughter and let her know what happened, and let her know that it wasn't you, it was me. So there's that. And of course he gave her that, that all baby look. So, they on their road back. Now, in the meantime, Amara had gone down to visit Evan. And she basically laid it out for him and said, look, I already know that you doing pay for play down here. I know that you in bed with Greg Peters. I know that your chief of staff them committed crimes. I know that you bribed the dude down to the permit office. Like, I know what's up. But at this point, either you could go ahead and come clean with me so we can try to get a bigger fish, or you going to be on the chopping block. And, he was like, look, he was like, you're not the only person that went to law school. Like, I know that you don't have what you think you have. And, if I need to get my lawyer, then that's what I'm going to have to do. And she was like, okay, well, do what you have to do. He said, and if you have all this, evidence against me, why didn't you arrest my chief of staff if you have so much evidence? And she was like, well, why get a guppy when I can get a shark? She was like, so you can either cooperate and help me get the shark, or you can be the shark, So then she threw out there and let Evan know that Stephanie was up in the hotel room with his with her husband half naked. And of course, Evan don't like that. What's good for the goose ain't good for the gander. Evan didn't like that. And when he confronted her, he ended up confronting Stephanie about it at the end of the episode. And she told him, she was like, look, wasn't nothing going down between me and Titus. I was just trying to get some get back on Amara. Like, don't even trip off of that. And he was like, yeah, well, basically he told her, bet not be nothing going on. And I'm like, dude, you got a whole kid out here with somebody else. Like, for real? For real. And that's when we found out that she got those daggone cufflinks. Because he ended up leaving out the room, and then we see her with the cufflinks. So, there's that. Now, in the meantime, in between time, down at Thelma's place, long-lost cousin from Chicago done shown up to extend her condolences to help, and Dale out and all that other stuff. And I ain't trust this woman from the word go. The minute she walked in the door, I didn't trust her. I didn't know what it was, but I was just like, she just seemed too eager. She trying too hard. And that's exactly what she was doing. She was trying to help out, honey, and she was, telling her, don't worry, I got you, boo. I got your back. Don't you worry about it. I got your back. I got your back. And I was just like, you trying too hard. I don't know what the deal is with you, but it's something going on with you. And she tells, and Dale, she's so happy for her to be there. She talks her in the stand a little bit longer. She tells her all about Greg Peters and how Greg Peters was the one that killed Senior and everything like that. And then when Dale goes to bed, honey, she lit up a blunt. And she done made a phone call talking about something. This is going to be easier than I expect. This is going to be like taking candy from a baby. Now, I don't know who she talking to. But she clearly feels like she got a payday coming. I don't know from who, what, when, where, how. But I'm sure we going to find out. So, after Stephanie leaves Titus's office talking her trash, she runs into, Mr. Purefoy himself. And they get to going back and forth and bantering, going back and forth about her daughter, talking about something. I'm trying to plan, the wedding of the century. We about to be family. And of course, Stephanie was like, what you not going to do is think that you ever going to have anything to do with my daughter again. My daughter on her way to London. She ain't going to be I don't want her to leave, but the best part about her leaving is that she going to be away from your little trifling daughter. So, they do their little back and forth. They have their little banter back and forth or whatever. And I think that's it. I really think that's all that went down in this episode. It wasn't really a whole, again, I feel like they laying some foundations for us to go to this, get to the next part of what we have going on. But that was pretty much it. If I forgot anything, charge it to my head and not my heart. I'm watching it on demand, and I can't fast forward through all the commercials. It's on demand. For some reason, my DVR didn't pick it up. Anyway, but let me know what y'all think. Drop it in them comments. Peace.